Hey guys, just want to do a quick layout tour here, kind of review the layout that I've been kind of showing off in my past few videos. So I'll make a long story short, we ended up buying a train or getting a train set for Christmas back in 2004. I'm one of four boys, so we were all pretty interested in it at the time. Built a small layout on a table, and then obviously things grew and grew. And then back in 2020, March 2020, when COVID hit, we ended up all kind of living at home for a little bit. Had nothing really to do after work, so we ended up kind of working on this. So I'll kind of go through each part of the layout. It's broken up into three sections. We have a town section, we have a farm and a residential area, and then we have our yard and industries. So we have two loops on the set. One of which has a spur that goes around the town for passenger service, and then there's an inner loop with a little bit of landscape involved and a canal. So I'll start over here in the town, and you'll kind of notice some of it's not finished yet. That's going to be our next thing that we work on, but in the meantime, this is our town. The town was set up maybe 10 years ago. The buildings are pretty much all in place as they were about 10 years ago, but we just kind of did most of the detailing. So we have a house here we just bought. I detailed that, and then I had a little extra room, so we decided to make a small construction site next door for a new building. A few apartments with some restaurants underneath, a church there. We bought an industry for trackside service. We have a public water building with a lighted water tower. Two more shops right here on Main Street, police station, a fire station, our main station, and then we have a concession, and then not a factory, but like a business with some bowling alley and stuff like that. So the town area, it's been pretty much neglected. When we were kids, didn't really use it much, but now this is probably the most detailed part of the layout. Because we're going to be adding lights to all of them. I've been adding lights to each of these. Most of these are model power products, so they already came with lights inside, but for instance, this one was off the Hobby Link, and I ended up putting the ribbons in there. I'm going to paint or block it out, and then we're going to put some model power lights in there in the hopes of doing a night scene soon. So I had to wire all that up in the meantime, but like I said, most of these buildings are already lit, so it'll be pretty easy to hook them up. Got our hookup wire here for model power, and then I've been using the Just Plug Scenic products for the light diffusing window film, light block kit, and then I bought some extra model power economy lights. So the cool thing about these is that the bulbs are pretty much separate from the sockets. You could twist them in and out. So you can leave the socket in place if it's glued in, and all you gotta do is replace the bulb if it burns out. So I recommend those. As we kind of move over to the center part of the layout, the farm is more or less our focus. It came with our original kit back in 2004. You kind of notice the pens there. So my little brother detailed most of those. He did most of the landscaping for the farm area. We have an old farmhouse kit that came with it, so we'll probably end up taking the base off of that and kind of fixing that up a little bit, but he put a lot of time into detailing it with shrubbery and the entrance road to the farm. And then he kind of had this cool idea with the fences where it was like a tinker set, like an old bridge set, kind of like matchsticks, and we ended up dunking them in Mod Podge with a little bit of black paint there, and ended up staining the wood. So we kind of went with that idea. So if we want to do some stained wood or some railroad ties, we're going to do that. We're going to keep doing that. So kind of moving to the right here, we have two new houses that we bought off of Hobby Link. Those have all been detailed, so I detailed those and painted those. We'll probably add a few more details to all the older buildings, just so it's kind of up to date. But ended up buying like the picket fence and stuff like that off of eBay. And then as you can see, we have some lifelike telephone poles. So those came with the original kit. I ended up painting them. Kind of looks like a nickel-plated box. Like all the boxes and street lamps had the metallic gray on them. And then we ended up painting the telephone line caps white. And then for now, I've been using some string from my mother's sewing kit to kind of give the appearance of telephone wire. So that's a cool little detail we've been kind of working on. So I'll probably end up gluing it one day, but in the meantime, everything's kind of strung together or tied up. As we kind of move right again, we have a gas station. That was a pretty cool little scene to build. We still haven't finished it. We'll probably put some oil streaks or spots and kind of detail the building a little more. And then I just bought this guy right here. This is the yard office. I haven't detailed it yet, but we'll be in a little bit. Puts a light in it, you know, and then a shed. So we're probably going to end up putting like a little junkyard here with old train parts or trucks and stuff like that. And as we kind of move towards the industry, we have a coal tower here, an oil tank. And by the way, these are all lit, so we'll just hook those up underneath. And then we're kind of looking at the yard. We have 4 different sidings here. We have the main line with an immediate siding and then 3 more sidings for industry here. So this is not all the cars we have on the, you know, for the layout. Everything's in boxes right now, but we will be organizing things a little bit better. So we have an industry here, track side, with 2 sidings on it, and then a small engine house in the back. So I'll lift that up a little bit so everything fits under there. That's also lit, so I'll kind of, you know, fix that up as well. But in the back across the canal there, we have a lumber yard and then a grain distribution place. So that's also track side. So it kind of adds a little bit of detail to the layout. Kind of changes things up. You're able to make a few stops along the way. So we kind of wanted to add trackside things for each of these loops. So, you know, if you want to kind of have a little, like an operating session, you kind of can. Obviously, it's a small layout, but it kind of adds a little bit of diversity to it. So the canal was always there about 10 years ago. There was a cool idea my dad had. He built the dock and glued the bollards on there. And then we kind of painted all the bulkheading, and we were eventually going to do epoxy inside there, but I think we'll probably just end up painting it in the meantime. But so we wanted to use all the structures we had as kids. So we have a light tower, a spotlight there. I put a little shack there and just kind of detailed the area around it. But the scenic work has been probably the most challenging part. It was about 3 months of work, just kind of setting everything up and, you know, cleaning all the tracks. All the track was, we didn't buy any more track. This is all the track that we had from 10 years ago. So we used what we had. The only things we really bought were just a little bit of scenery pieces and some more locomotives and rolling stock. But that's really it. You know, we just want to keep it more or less pretty simple because everything is, you know, able to come off if we needed to. We can move things around if we had to. Since this isn't our basement, this is our parents' house. So if once they move out, we could probably take everything out apart pretty quickly. And again, like I said, there's 4 of us here, so we'll just take each our own stuff and make our own layouts one day. So yeah, that's pretty much it. But like I said, the next plans are to finish this yard. Right now it's just painted gray. We'll probably put a little bit of ballast in here at some point to kind of signify that the yard's under heavy use. Like I also said, we have all the lights to put in, wire all those up, and then I have that left area we still got to do. Not really sure what we're going to do. Maybe it'll just be grass, but I have a few ideas floating around. So if you guys have any comments or, you know, things we should do, you know, that you guys would do, just feel free to comment. We're open to constructive criticism. Obviously, this is just for fun, so there should be update videos soon enough. But anyway, all right, guys, thanks.